Hello, I'm Richard Claywell, and this is another episode of Litigation Speaks. This February, we're not just marking calendars for Valentine's Day, we're launching Cupid's Courtroom Chronicles. That's just for the attorneys and us. Today's episode, I'm going to call it Till Debt Do Us Part. What I want to talk about are some of the comical things and some of the serious things that we actually see in the courtroom. We see it in depositions, see it in mediations. One of the things that happens is in a divorce, the parties want to dig in their heels and say, I want a certain piece of property. That personal piece of property can be anything that probably you and I look at it and say, well, who really cares who gets that? There's no importance to it to us. One of the things I remember doing, and I was asked to go, I'm not sure why, but I was asked to go to this couple's house with the attorney, and they were looking at the different assets that they wanted. One of the things that was kind of interesting, they had a nice little chandelier attached to the ceiling. And my understanding is if it's attached to the real estate, it's real estate. Whoever gets the real estate gets a chandelier. But they're arguing over who's going to get the chandelier. I remember looking at the attorney and said, I thought it was real property. She just shrugged her shoulders. So I was not involved in negotiations. I have no idea what happened with the chandelier. But we also have pets that we have to contend with. We have two small dogs, and my wife and I have been married 52 years. I'm not sure that we're going to ever get a divorce. Don't want one necessarily, but it'd be difficult to part with the two little dogs. So that's a problem that the people have, not just the dogs, but cats and other pets that they might have. They might have a coin collection. They may have a gun collection. They may have any type of sort of collection, and they're going to argue over what that is. One day, I was asked if I would be willing to help mediate a case in a divorce. I said, well, let me talk to the client and see what's going on with this. So they put me in touch with a woman. The woman attorney I was talking to was representing the woman in the case. So I called her, talked to her for a few minutes, and found out that she was an attorney also. Her and her husband had already decided how they were going to split the two vacuum cleaners that they had. The wife was to get the new vacuum cleaner, and the husband was to get the old vacuum cleaner. And I assume that's probably an all right settlement. I don't think most men use a vacuum cleaner a whole lot. Probably women do it more than men do. But after they agreed that's what they were going to do, the wife changed her mind. She said she thought that the older vacuum cleaner was a better vacuum cleaner than the newer vacuum cleaner. So this was holding up the divorce settlement as far as who was going to get the vacuum cleaner. While I was talking, well, before the conversation ended when I was talking to the lady going through the divorce, I told her I just didn't feel that I was really that interested in working on this particular case. I thought this was complete nonsense, and I just didn't have the wherewithal to get involved in that kind of a ridiculous fight. But you never know what you're going to get, so they're kind of interesting. So I want to talk about one serious thing, and the laughs are good. They make this work enjoyable. But a serious thing is if a husband and wife have a business either individually or they own it jointly, you probably need to determine what the value of the company is. The problem that attorneys are encountering, and maybe the changes in Rule 702 will solve part of the problem, is a lot of people are going out and determining the value based on what's called a calculation of value. Now, these are done by CPAs. By definition, a calculation of value is not fair market value. If the state that you're in requires that it be at fair market value, then a calculation report is not the right answer. You may find that out in a deposition, or you may find out in a courtroom where the judge disqualifies the individual for doing a calculation of value. So these are something to think about on the types of reports that you're going to get. If you have any of these types of issues, be more than glad to talk to you. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, send me an email, contact me on LinkedIn. I'll be more than glad to talk to you. Join me on LinkedIn at Richard Claywell or YouTube at Litigation Speaks. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Appreciate your help watching these today.